Yo, 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 it's your boy, RayMabry. And on today's video, I got a very special guest, a friend of mine that I've known for a few years. We met a while back. Matter of fact, we did some mentoring and stuff back in the days, but this guy's been crushing it from day one. And so I want him to tell you about this one particular deal that he just recently closed last month. Last month now, we're not talking about last year. Last month, even though we're in a recession, he closed a deal on last month. And he was able to gross $21,000 on a wholesale deal. So this right here is just proof and evidence that wholesaling is not dead. You know, some people say, well, the market is changing and all that, which it is, but there's still deals out there. So without further ado, let me introduce you to my friend, Jonathan Turman, AKA JT. That's what I call him, JT. So JT, the floor is yours.
Hey, what's happening? Yeah, thank you, Ray, for having me. Yeah, my name is Jonathan Turman. I go by JT. I am a licensed HVAC contractor here in Atlanta, Georgia market. And I've been doing wholesaling and real estate since 2016. So let's talk about the deal. The way I found this particular deal, there were 3 land lots. And I had one of my HVAC customers who happens to be a licensed realtor and investor. And so we got to talking about some lots that he had, and he was looking for somebody that can get rid of. He was trying to sell the lots. He was trying to offload these lots. And so I said, look, I can get those lots sold for you. Okay. Why don't you send them my way? Send me all the details and the data that you have on the lot so I can do my own personal due diligence on them so I can be myself more competent when I'm out here marketing these lots. And one of the things the realtor did that was impressive was that he also sent me a comparable analysis, just pulling the comps on it, so I can have all the information on the properties, and also what the square footage of each house could be, because the houses were like you could build a house on each lot for anywhere from 24 to 2,800 square feet. So that's a decent sized home, right? And you're talking about lots that's anywhere from 0.40, 0.38, and 0.41 acres. Of an acre. So that's a decent sized lot, almost a half an acre of a lot, right? So in the county that the lots were located in, what I did was I networked with current builders and developers that are buying lots in that county. And that's all public information. So I just found out who's buying what, when they do it, and reached out to them and just started talking, just having a natural conversation, saying, hey, my name's John Turman. I'm a licensed HVAC contractor who happens to do real estate investing. Just saw that you bought a couple lots. Here in this area here, back on this date. Just wanted to know if you're looking to buy any more. And out of 25 calls, 7 of the calls were interested.
Oh, wow. That's
so that wasn't bad. That was pretty decent.
Yeah.
That was a good turnaround time. And what I did was once I got out of 7, I sent them what I call a marketing material package of this is what property is being asked for, right? What's being sold for, $5,000 non-refundable earnest money deposit on each lot, right? Make your highest and best offer. They gave them all the information that I had. So that way they can make an informed decision.
All right, so let me interject right here for those of you that's listening. You said the owner of these lots was a realtor.
Correct.
So most time people think, okay, well, realtors, they specialize in real estate, they have their own buyers and stuff. Why didn't a realtor like maybe list the properties themselves or find their own buyers? Like why do they use you, an investor, to unload these properties?
That's a good question. It was a relationship decision.
Exactly.
It was a relationship decision.
Okay.
I've been knowing this realtor for 5 years.
That's good.
I had a working rapport. And so, we built a mutual respect with one another, right? And communication. So because of that, I just encouraged them, hey, before you list them, let's try this route here.
Yeah.
That's all.
And once again, man, that's powerful as far as relationship and going into your networking and stuff. And even the way you found these buyers, you basically just we did research to find out, hey, who's buying in this area? And then you called them up, you cold called them. And you said 25 calls, you had 7 that was interested. That's a huge like response rate. And so now, even, and I don't know which buyers bought it, like if it was 1 or 2 or 7 buyers, but let's say 1 out of 7 bought the properties. Now you still got another 6 on your buyers list
Correct.
that you can probably feed them some more deals in the coming
Correct.
future. So that's the power of 1, networking, and then 2, like really just taking some initiative, you know, researching people, because the information, like you said, is free
Mhm.
as far as who the buyers were in that area, and then picking up the phone and having a conversation, you know,
Yeah.
talking with these people. And so that's powerful. So how long did it take for you to find that buyer? And then how long did it take to from going and opening up escrow, because you said you wanted $5,000 down.
Mhm.
So from opening up escrow until closing, how long did that take?
It took me to find the buyer. It took me 4 days to find the buyer.
4 days. Okay, 4
4
days.
days to find the buyer.
Mhm.
From the moment the escrow opened to closing, we closed in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Okay. All right. Let me interject again here. So with wholesaling deals, it depends on how you structure it, but 2 weeks is very, very feasible to close the wholesale deals. Wholesale deals, you can probably close some in as early as 7 days, 10 days,
Right.
but 2 weeks is a great turnaround time, because a lot of times what you wait on from the title company or the closing attorney is for them to do the title work. And depending on their workload and kind of the backlog, you know, that's going to be like your length, you know, the most time consuming thing is how long does it take for the title work to come back. But 2 weeks is very good. And the profit on this deal, you said the gross on this deal was $21,000
Correct.
in 2 weeks. Also, one other thing I want to say too, Jonathan, he has a very successful HVAC company there in the Atlanta area. So he does wholesaling on the side. So imagine making an extra 10, 20, $30,000 on the side just by wholesaling. And he found this person by doing his regular business. And
Right.
so I wanted to hammer that home, because sometimes we get, you know, deceived or have this mindset like, you know, we got to go all in and got to do wholesaling full time. And then, you know, you're trying to generate this. No, this deal came from a result of his regular business and building relationships from his business. And so 2 weeks to get $21,000. And once again, you found the deal from, you know, just basically cold calling buyers. And so what are some things that you want to share with people as far as like people that's looking to get into this business, you know, maybe some tips on how they can experience some similar success that you had in real estate wholesaling in particular?
I would say, you know, the biggest thing is if they want to get involved in this business is to have the mindset, make sure that their mindset is geared towards real estate, right? And because you got to develop a positive mindset. And I think the biggest thing with that going to be reading, because you hear the old saying, readers are leaders, and it's true. Because you take, you know, so much negative information that's in your head, you got to dilute that with positive information. So that means that you got to, you know, you have to read. You got to read, you know, books like Magic of Thinking Big, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, How to Win Friends and Influence People, right? Dale Carnegie book, classic book, you know, interpersonal skill books, right? And, you know, books like that's going to get you to really do some introspection, right? You know, introspection, right?
Yeah.
And the other thing I could say, as an intangible, is to have a attitude of gratitude. Even when people turn you down, just be grateful for the whole experience, because it's not the destination, it's the journey. Enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
Enjoy the journey.
And then like we're in the business with wholesaling or anything you do, like even from your HVAC company, you know, we're in a marketing and sales business, because you have to be able to put yourself in front of people and show them why they should go with you versus someone else. So you have to have a level of sales and marketing. And with that comes a degree of rejection.
Correct.
And so we bring this up because you can't stop at the first no. You can't stop at the 50th no. You can't even really stop at the 100th no, because that's going to get you closer to that yes. And so you're looking at 2 guys here that's been in sales for a long time, have experience. And I'm not saying that we're the greatest, we're the best, but we are good at what we do. And we're just trying to show you what's possible. I did want to ask you too about this one particular deal. Now, was this an assignment deal or was this a double close?
Good question. It was a
Okay.
double close.
Okay,
And
so
I
you
did
double close it.
the double close. I chose the double close route versus assignment route because of my feel for the buyer.
Okay.
In other words, talking to him, conversation, different work, the vibe from him.
Okay.
And once I got that vibe that if he sees what I'm making, there's going to be some pushback or he's going to feel some type of way. Then I said, okay, I made my mind just in the split of a second that I was going to take the double escrow approach. That's
Okay.
all.
Yeah, and I'm glad you explained that as well, because sometimes there's a debate where if you make a certain amount, should you do the assignment, should you do the double closing? But it does come back to what you said. You got to get a feel for your buyer and sometimes your seller. Sometimes it definitely makes sense to double close versus doing an assignment.
Yep.
And so that's good. There are any other things you want to share? Like, how can people contact you, JT? Because I want to keep this short and to the point. So you're in the Atlanta area, you have an HVAC company. And so, anybody that needs work done, definitely reach out to JT. But in any other way you can want to be reached.
If anybody wants to reach me, and let's say if they have an issue with on the HVAC side of things with their heating and cooling equipment or water heater or something to that nature, they could reach me either at Jonathan at NOLEAK, NOLEAKHVACINC.com or area code 470-317-6016. That's my office number.
Awesome.
So you can reach me either way.
Look, man, I appreciate you taking the time. Like I said, I wanted to keep this short and concise. I do want to tell a little quick story before we go. So I'm here in North Carolina. JT is there in Atlanta. And I had an issue going on with my HVAC here at home. And so I called JT up a couple months ago. It was hot, man. It was super hot up here, like 80 degrees or something like that. So we knew something was going on. So I explained to him what was going on. And he was telling me, well, Ray, it could be this, it could be that. And everything he was saying, I was taking notes. I was taking notes because I didn't know what he was talking about. But he kind of went from the simplest thing to the most complicated thing. And so what I did was when I had our local HVAC guy come out and, he started talking, I was like, yeah, I got a buddy of mine that's in Atlanta and he was saying this, and that. And so the guy was kind of shaking his head like, okay, like he knew I was talking about because I had somebody in my network, a friend of mine, that basically schooled me on what to look for. And at the end, because a lot of times you don't really know what the final cost is going to be until the work is done, he told me, because basically JT, because of what JT shared with me, he saved me a few $100s. All because I had somebody in my network that knew what I was talking about. And so the guy knew I didn't know what I was talking about, but I leaned on the expert and his advice. And so that kind of like let the guy come straight. Because, sometimes they feel like you're naive about something, they try to get over on you. But if they know that you got somebody in your corner, somebody knows what's going on, then they're going to be a little more straight up. So I appreciate that, JT, man. Next time we hang out, man, dinner's on me, of course, for saving me that money, man. But this is the power of having people in your network. That's why I want to share that story with you. It's very, very powerful. And, guys, try that. Whether you sell cars, if you know somebody in the car industry, call them up, get some advice. Same thing with buying a house, flipping a house, whatever. Get somebody that's in your corner that knows what they're doing and get the advice so that when you're not going into a situation blind. All right. But anyways, I appreciate your time, JT, man. It's always
all right. Sounds good.
Hanging out with you, man. And if anybody want to reach out to me, my information is down in the description. But go out here and make this money. We're here in the fourth quarter of the year. The year is coming to an end. So let's finish this year strong and let's have a great next year. But until next time, this is your boy, RayMabry, and JT about to sign off. Peace.
Peace. Take care.